Hello and welcome. This is Matthias 76, and together we are decoding the headlines. The New World Order minions in the media continually serve up daily doses of deception, and so we continue to join with you in decoding it all. I'm back. I've been away for a bit doing some intensive study, but we are going to continue to work to decode the deception that surrounds us and seeks to overwhelm us. We continue to forge confidently ahead because we understand this struggle to be more than temporal. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. That from Paul's letter to the Ephesians, the 6th chapter, the 12th verse. When Paul spoke those words, he was not talking about evil kings and emperors. He was talking about the spiritual forces of evil that are always operating behind those earthly powers. No matter how we might picture Satan's beast from the sea that John saw in Revelation 13, we understand that with its multiple heads, it reinvents itself in every age. What is most important is that we know the outcome of that eternal struggle. Jesus, who is the King of kings and Lord of lords, rides forth on his white horse and is ever conquering. Forces of darkness work and labor as they may, Jesus always wins. With that divine and eternal perspective in mind, let's look at our world, our nation, and assess what we see. And remember, our perspective, how we perceive and understand our world, needs to be tracking here. It is not about the temporal, it is about the eternal. We need to look at our world through this lens. If I do not, my perspective will be skewed. So we turn to the headlines. And what do we see? Greeting us this morning on foxnews.com are the three shining lights of the new congressional realm. I did a video on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez not long ago. The link to that video is appearing above as I speak. But no matter your political persuasion, you cannot escape that these three are the chosen ones. There has been a story on all the major networks on one or more of them every day since the election. And that shows no sign of stopping. It has been decreed. Now I want you to stop and think. I want you to think about what we see in Washington and around the world. I want you to think differently about the daily barrage of chaos and madness to which we are subjected. Think differently. Try a new perspective. Spend some time, several days anyway, operating with this perspective. They want to burn it all to the ground. When you watch the news, when you read a story, analyze it through this light. The whole system has been co-opted, and the aim of the evil powers that should not be, but are, is to burn it all to the ground. Why? So they can hammer the world and, as the caption at the top of this stained glass window of the Fabian Society poetically describes, remold it nearer to the heart's desire. They intend to make the world into what they, as the enlightened ones, deem fit. The problem is who it is who has enlightened them. Work with me here. If they can use their evil minions to destroy it, then they get to rebuild it. The most pervasive secret society in the world, the Masons, have this as their motto: Ordo ab chao, that is Latin for order out of chaos. They view themselves as wolves in sheep's clothing. They write about it. Behind closed doors, they laugh about it. Don't believe me? Look again at that stained glass window of the Fabian Society's original headquarters. In case you doubt me, look more closely at the shield above the globe that is being hammered into submission. See the wolf? See the sheep's clothing. Again, this is the Fabian Society that in time morphed into the Chatham House, which is the British kissing cousin to the Council on Foreign Relations, which, if you do not know, has been the preeminent power in American governmental politics since 1922. The dirty little secret that, if you do your research, is not so much of a secret is that all of these presidents were one and the same. They were all beholden to the same political masters, the Council on Foreign Relations. Truth be told, there are higher realms of evil authority, but I am trying to keep it simple. And if you think that things are different because this man is president, I challenge you to think again. He has a Kabbalah teacher. He said it himself in his own book. Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism and black magic. And he can't help but keep making that 666 sign constantly as he speaks. And if you think that's an okay sign, you haven't been paying enough attention. The powers that cycle through Washington, this parade of do-nothing incompetence, they are but bit players doing their part at the direction of powers they dare not defy. This picture accurately portrays the working of the world Paul described in Ephesians 6:12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, those pieces on the board, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Those forces of evil are at work. To what degree the players, be they large or small, know the end game, we could discuss ad nauseum. The germane point is my worldview and the way I interpret the things I see and hear in the news accurate? I love my country. I wish things were different. Wishing does not make it so. Reality is that the majority of those serving our nation and our world are not serving us. They are serving other powers with another agenda. Once you understand that, things change. The daily news does not get any less depressing, but the clouds of confusion do clear, and I understand my world in a different light, the proper light that shines from an eternal perspective. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Matthias 76, and together we have decoded the headlines. God bless, and have a great day. That concludes our broadcast for today. Immediately below on the left is a link to subscribe to our channel. When you subscribe, make sure to click the notification button. Leave your comments below. We love to hear from you. This is Matthias 76, and together we are decoding the deception.